U.S. President Donald Trump has faced another legal setback, with a Florida district court temporarily dismissing his defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal. The president had filed the suit alleging defamation over the newspaper's reporting on an alleged congratulatory letter sent to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The court's decision, handed down by Judge Darrin P. Gayles, stated that President Trump had failed to plausibly demonstrate that the Wall Street Journal acted with malicious intents when it published details about the letter. Judge Gayles further elaborated that the lawsuit did not meet the necessary criteria unanswered by a long shot. Quite the contrary. President Trump now has until the end of April to submit a revised complaint. The Wall Street Journal had reported on an alleged congratulatory letter sent to Epstein for his 50th birthday in 2003, which reportedly bore President Trump's name. This report suggested a further connection between President Trump and Epstein, a connection President Trump vehemently denies. Adding to the controversial nature of the report, the newspaper claimed the letter contained salacious content describing outlines of a female body with breasts drawn with a marker. The Wall Street Journal cited access to documents as its source for these details. President Trump has strongly denied being the author of any such letter. Following the publication, President Trump initiated the lawsuit against the newspaper and media mogul Rupert Murdoch, whose extensive portfolio includes the Wall Street Journal, demanding billions in damages. This legal action underscores President Trump's ongoing challenges with media outlets and his efforts to counter what he perceives as inaccurate or malicious reporting. This legal battle is not an isolated incident for President Trump. He also filed a lawsuit against the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC, seeking a staggering $10 billion. That lawsuit, also filed in a Florida court, centers on a dispute over the editing of a speech President Trump delivered on January 6, 2021. The BBC had used a segment of that speech for its program Panorama. That day was significant as the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C. was violently stormed. The program aired shortly before the U.S. presidential election in November 2024, and the trial for this lawsuit is currently scheduled to begin in February 2027. President Trump's continued pursuit of legal action against major media organizations highlights the intense scrutiny and legal complexities surrounding high-profile political figures and their interactions with the press. The outcomes of these lawsuits could have significant implications for both media freedom and the future landscape of political discourse. Summary: U.S. President Donald Trump's defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal has been temporarily dismissed by a district court in Florida. The lawsuit concerned the newspaper's reporting on an alleged congratulatory letter sent to Jeffrey Epstein, which the court found lacked sufficient evidence of malicious intents on the part of the Wall Street Journal. President Trump, who denies authorship of the letter described as containing salacious content, has until the end of April to refile the complaint. This legal setback comes amidst President Trump's broader challenges with media organizations, including a separate $10 billion lawsuit against the British Broadcasting Corporation, the BBC. That case stems from the BBC's use of an edited segment of President Trump's January 6, 2021 speech for its Old Hills Panorama program, broadcast before the November 2024 presidential election. The trial for the BBC lawsuit is set to commence in February 2027. Tags: U.S. politics, Donald Trump, Wall Street Journal, Jeffrey Epstein, defamation lawsuit, Florida court, media law, Rupert Murdoch, BBC lawsuit, January 6th, Capitol attack, Darrin P. Gayles, Trump presidency, legal challenges, media scrutiny, White House news, political news, news update, free press debate, Trump versus media. What's your take on Trump's WSJ lawsuit? Over Epstein link. Hit Snag. Share your view in the comments. Do you think this will matter in the next news cycle? This video was generated using artificial intelligence.